Welcome to the show, guys. We are talking the studs and sucks at each position from championship week. Yes, fantasy football is over for 2022, but this channel, we go year round. So make sure you guys are subscribed, all right? I'm going to rip into the guys that had a terrible week, including Justin Jefferson, who absolutely lost it, almost smoked a referee with his helmet. Just avoided getting ejected. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Jefferson. We're going to talk about those sucks. We're also going to honor those guys that did really, really well. So a very important episode as we recap and start now moving towards 2023. And again, we go year round here. So it's very important, guys. You are subscribed. In the comments below, I want to make this super interactive. Drop the name of the person that messed up your team or drop the name of the player that saved your team. And I took ownership on Austin Ekeler. He absolutely crushed it. The guy actually lives for your fantasy football teams. And I was wrong. I'll take ownership on that. So again, guys, let's talk about it. Let's have an open discussion here in the comment section. If you're in the car, go drop a comment, drop a line. We want to see you on the YouTube channel as well. And subscribe to this #1 fantasy football podcast because, again, we go year round, all right? So let's start off with the studs and sucks at each position, starting off with the quarterback position. And, again, make it interactive. Drop the comments below. If you haven't gotten your shirt, go grab it right now. The No Sheep shirts. If you don't know what they look like, again, head on over to YouTube. As you're commenting, take a look at the shirt, guys. No Sheep shirt. Go grab one, guys, at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com under the store. You can go get one right now, all right? And again, we are unloading 2023 content immediately here, and I'm going to actually make an announcement here. Tim the Bald Guy will be back for more shows this upcoming season. Going to be a lot more back and forth, so I want to make you guys aware of that. Tim the Bald Guy will be back. I'm not sure what time he's coming back. Probably going to be February, March, something like that, and we're going to get him more involved with the show. So it's going to be a lot more exciting this year with the back and forth. So that's something to look forward to as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed. All right. Tom Brady, Daniel Jones, Jarrett Stidham rounding out the top three at the quarterback position. They were the studs of the week. Now, Jarrett Stidham came in. They had a close loss, but proved that he can get it done on the field. And he did it well with Davante Adams, both having themselves a great game. So Jarrett Stidham, amazing game. Awesome. Okay, now who sucked at the quarterback position? There's a couple of people that were, really sucky, but everybody kind of pulled themselves together. They did what they had to do. Everybody put up safe points. Deshaun Watson, 20-ish points. Even Gardner Minshew, 12.96. You could say that sucks, right? But it's Gardner Minshew, right? What are you expecting out of the guy? Even him, he had a safe game. Even Davis Mills, as sucky as he is, he had 9.38 points. But the guys that really crapped the bed are Kirk Cousins, absolutely sucked, and Trevor Lawrence at this position. Now, Trevor Lawrence, again, I think he was pulled near the end of the game there because, again, they secured the win. Now, 4.48 points, completely unacceptable. I actually ended up playing against them in the fantasy football championships. I had Minshew, he had Lawrence, and thank goodness that Minshew outperformed Trevor Lawrence, who was the suck of the week at that position. Amazing, all right? So let's move on to that running back position. I got to give credit where credit's due. But, Austin Ekeler, 122 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 32.1 points. Amazing. Christian McCaffrey, 6 receptions for 72 yards were included as part of his 31-point campaign in PPR. Amazing. DeAndre Swift finally coming alive at 27.7 points. Awesome. Travis Etienne, Raheem Mostert, Jamal Williams, Jerick McKinnon, Cordell Patterson, Najee Harris, and Josh Jacobs. Now, I got to tell you a quick story about Najee Harris, a guy that I was relatively high on. I had him top 5 like everybody else, so it wasn't much different. Now, I actually ended up having a ticket yesterday, point spread. I had like 5 teams altogether. 4 of my parlays hit, and I just needed Baltimore to win. Baltimore had the lead in that game. And then Najee Harris, out of all people, who screwed a lot of fantasy teams, minus this one last week, he finished top 10, by the way, 20.3 points, ends up getting a receiving touchdown near the end of the game. Not only did he, finally come alive, which was, screw you for coming alive this late in fantasy, but he actually ended up screwing my ticket because I think Baltimore was favored on the ticket. I had 1.5 point favorite, and Najee screwed that. So it is what it is. He had himself a good week. What can I say? Okay, the guys that sucked at the running back position, Barkley 7.3, very boring, safe. Dalvin Cook 6.4, Miles Sanders 6.1, to name a few. And again, in the comments below, let me know who crapped the bed for you guys at the running back position, all right? Championship week. Now, Wide receiver, this was very volatile and crazy, but the guys did well. Mike Evans, Mr. 3-touchdown, 48-point Mike Evans, finally coming alive, looking really strong here in this championship week. Devontae Adams having himself a great game, 34.3 points. Ayuk and Amari Cooper also having themselves a phenomenal week, all right? At the tight end, Dalton Schultz, who had himself a phenomenal week. Now, those of you guys that did phenomenally, okay? Now, when we're looking at wide receivers that did terrible, you got to mention here Justin Jefferson. Like I said, 2.5 fantasy points. Christian Kirk, 4.1 fantasy points. These are the guys that jumped out at me. Let me know who jumped out at you. But again, Justin Jefferson, absolutely really unacceptable at 2.5 fantasy points, considering this is supposed to be the best wide receiver in the NFL. And then he had himself a little bit of a blow up. He almost took his helmet off. Actually, he did take his helmet off. It was coming down. If you guys go, you could Google this clip, but he was coming down and he almost, I think he kind of tapped the referee in the back of the neck, back of the shoulder area. Kind of came down, but it restrained himself last minute. Almost smoked the referee with his helmet. You know, it was that close. And the referee, I don't think saw it. He just kind of felt something behind him. I guess didn't think anything of it. But, yeah, he's got to control his temper. I think, from what I understand, I just did a post on him. Either he blocked me or I think he actually literally deleted social media temporarily here. I'm just going to check this post here. One guy said he deleted. And then when I looked at social media, I actually don't see his account here. A couple days ago, he deleted his social media from what I heard, or put it on pause or something, because I guess he doesn't want to hear all the noise of people saying that he sucks, right? So, yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson not showing he's a class act, and we're going to be interesting to see how he does next year. But again, very terrible performance, 2.5 fantasy points. I think he had like one reception for 15 yards. Justin Jefferson, terrible. Again, Dalvin Cook, honorable mention for sucks. Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, and at the tight end position, again, what you see is what you really got this week for tight end, which is, you know, safe, boring points out of tight ends every single week. But Dalton Schultz at 24.6 had the best week. The guys that kind of crapped the bed, Gerald Everett, Hunter Henry, you know, Gerald Everett, 10.5 points. Dallas Goedert had 7.5. You know, Tyler Higbee, crappy as usual, 4.1. But I would say Evan Ingram, 3.9 points, and he's been volatile all year. He's had some good games, had some bad games, having a bad championship week, all right? Now, let me know if I'm missing anybody, guys, below. Let me know how you did in your fantasy football championships. Again, fantasy football is just starting here. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to roll out the 2023 content because the calendar has turned over. I'm hoping everybody had themselves an outstanding new year. And let's make this interactive, guys, all year round. Going to be tearing it up for you guys, giving you guys the best possible content, all right? And if you haven't grabbed your No Sheep shirts, go grab them right now, guys. Very, very important you grab them. I'm excited for a massive and big year. I'm going to be rolling out, just to give you guys a quick agenda here, I'm going to be rolling out 16 rounds, probably, you know, a week after the NFL draft. I usually do about a week after the NFL draft. After the NFL draft happens, that's when I know where the depth charts fall. And then I'm able to structure out 16 rounds because I predicate a lot of my rankings based on how the depth chart is, right? So last year, for example, I saw Walker drafted in the second round. I saw Penny there. I'm like, I love Walker. He is one of my sleeper running backs. I'm going to go ahead and stash him. Perfect, right? Everybody else in the rankings had Rashad Penny. I'm like, I'm fading Penny because he sucks, but I like Walker. And again, I figured that out after the NFL draft. So that's when I determine all of the content for 60 rounds. And that comes out again the first week after the NFL draft. So lots going on, guys. I'm going to keep you guys on top of the news. We got NFL playoffs coming up, so I'm going to keep you guys in the loop on that. Going to be talking about it here on the show. And if you guys play DFS as well, I mean, this is a great place to come because I'm going to be also going over some optimal plays as well here. All right. So I'm excited, guys. NFL playoffs are here. Fantasy football 2022 is officially over and 2023 is open. So subscribe, thumbs up, drop your comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And we're going to have more Bald Guy this year, Tim the Bald Guy. And we're going to be getting a lot more back and forth, making it a lot more interactive here on the show. Subscribe, thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. I am out. We'll talk soon.